afternoon, everybody. This is a continuation of the grant series that has been put together by the faculty. I'm Manila Nelson. I'm the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Research and Development, and I'm over the Office for Sponsored Programs and Tech Transfer. And then this is Dr. White. She is the Director of the Office for Sponsored Programs and Tech Transfer. So we're going to tag team today. So I'm going to let her get started, and I've already told her, I'm chiming in when I need to chime in. So we're glad you came, and don't hesitate if you need to interrupt or anything, but we will do questions and answers at the end. Okay?
Well, good afternoon again. First of all, I want to tell you what is the Sponsored Programs Office and what our role is. Our role is we approve the submission and of applications and also the acceptance of awards on behalf of the institution. So that's pretty much in a nutshell who we are. What is Sponsored Programs Administration? We help to support the faculty. We're here to be of service to the faculty. And in doing that, we're here to help identify research funding opportunities. We're here to assist and review your grant proposals. We don't write them for you, but we will definitely assist you in writing them. We help to negotiate the terms and conditions of the awards. With our sponsors, we serve as the liaison between the institution and the sponsor. We help to protect the institution and the researchers as it relates to areas of intellectual property. Also, we identify and resolve any issues that arise during the life cycle of the grant. What is a sponsored project? A sponsored project has a definite beginning and a definite end. There's financial accountability and reporting that's required. There's, again, a specific period of performance, and there are key deliverables which are included in a final technical report. These are some of the agreements that relate to research. We just kind of talked about a grant award. There's contracts. We have subawards where we partner with other institutions or they partner with us to do part of a grant. We have scientific research agreements, material transfer agreements. Anytime you want to transfer materials, or either someone wants to transfer materials to you like cell lines or mice, you must have a material transfer agreement. Confidentiality and non-disclosure, those are kind of almost the same. And also collaborative research agreements, whereas we work with other institutions or companies, we must have agreements in place. There are two specific major categories of grants. There's extramural, which means external funding sources, and there's intramural. Some of our external funders, major funders, are the federal. Those are the big dollars. And that includes NIH, National Science Foundation, Department of Defense, HRSA. And then we have some state extramural funding, which includes Board of Regents, Louisiana Department of Health, also that will include Pennington Research Center in Baton Rouge. And we have foundations such as American Heart Association and American Cancer Society. Intramural, the source of funding is coming from within our institution, and some of those examples are translational research grants, fellowships, basic science research grants, and travel awards.
The intramural program is, there are some constant rolling applications that you can apply for, but the majority of those that are intramural are funded by Cancer Center, CCDS, a variety of sources, including the Office of Research. Those are offered twice a year, once in the fall and once in the spring. Okay, but I know that CCDS has some rolling deadlines and some that are available all the time. You can find those on our webpage. Okay.
What is an example of the basic science research grant?
Sometimes sometimes if you're in between a grant, we have something called a grant in aid. It's called bridging grant. So if a faculty member's grant is ending, but he needs some additional money to do research in the laboratory so that he can go back in to get a renewal, we will fund those as well. Yes?
I guess for the extramural grants, there's usually, they have to be citizens, the faculty. What about for the intramural as well? Do they have to be citizens, or are there any visa limitations?
No, you just have to be, a student or someone here at the institution. We also partner with other institutions. They're called PAC grants, Partners Across Campus. So we have had them where one of our faculty members has gone to Louisiana Tech and partnered with somebody at Louisiana Tech. So those are available too. There's different types of programs, so. Okay?
I don't think AHA requires citizenship.
It does.
And I don't know about ASC, but.
It does, ACS.
More questions?
But there are also fellowships for foreigners that you will find, and we're going to show you a source that you can go and look and see.
As we've mentioned, a grant has a specific beginning and a specific end. And this is the life cycle of a grant in general. You prepare a proposal, you have to set up the award. When you set up the award, that means you have budgetary authority to spend the money. So we have to partner with the Grants Accounting Department. We manage the award. That's the progress reports, any annual reporting that's required, and also closing out the award. Those are the basic steps to a life cycle of a grant. All are important. Funding, sources of funding. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I have questions to the previous slides for setting up an account. So how long of time does it take before you can have your account being set?
Well, there's no specific timeline. We do have to, we partner, we work with another entity on campus. As soon as we get the notice of award, we forward it to the Grants Accounting. We don't have any control over their processes, or there's nothing.
We do try to keep up with it, send emails and those types of things, but they're truly responsible for setting up those accounts in PeopleSoft.
So the awardee himself can follow up, how they can follow up with that?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
The awardee, him or herself, how they can follow up with that?
Well, no,
business managers
your
can-
business manager can follow up, or we can follow up for you.
And we do follow up. Some may be 2 weeks, some may be 3 months. I mean, depends on their workload or what they're doing. But they're given everything they need to set up that grant account from our office.
But you cannot spend any money. Well, you can spend money, but that's to give you the authority, the budgetary authority to spend the money through the Grants Accounting.
Nothing can be retroactively.
We don't do that.
Okay, sources of funding. There's a lot of money out there, so let me show you. We have compiled a list on our intranet site for you. Let me see if I can go. Okay. Can y'all see that okay? Do I need to can I maximize that? Okay. This is on our Office of Sponsored Programs website, intranet. And Grants Forward is a subscription service that's available to everyone in the institution. And it covers private, federal, all gamuts of funding. You need to set up a profile with them, but they'll tell you some little things like about COVID funding or what's the latest updates they've made to the site as far as funding. But it's best if you set up a profile. You can save your searches to help you save time. But you can put in keywords as far as the type of research grants that you're looking for. And like I say, it doesn't matter if it's federal or a private association. It will give you a listing. Let's just see. Let's put in something right quick here. Let's put in cancer. And it's best to be as specific as you can. And these are some examples of some grants that are available. It gives you the eligibility, the due dates, and it'll tell you everything you need as far as what you need to do to submit for this grant, those grants. But again, being as specific as possible will help you to narrow down what you're looking for. Anybody have any questions about Grants Forward? Okay.
You will use your LSU email to log in and register.
Okay. Also, we've compiled some federal, state foundations and intramurals for you on here. It's not all inclusive, but there's grants.gov. We're going to talk about NIH Reporter a little later. But these are some of the major federal agencies that we have received funding from in the past, and that could be of interest to you. State agencies, we don't have a long list, but these are some of the ones that may be available. Foundations, this is a list of foundations. And again, it's not all inclusive. You probably will get more going to the Grants Forward page. And then our intramurals. These are the current intramurals that are currently available. These are, the deadlines are rolling submission for these. But these pages are updated, and I believe we're going to be having a spring cycle. We usually have a spring and a fall cycle for intramurals. So you have to check. But you will get information also. Do y'all receive the listserv? Are you, as far as the emails about grant opportunities? Because we also send those out. Is anyone not receiving them? You're not? Okay, if I could get your name and email address, I'll make sure we add you. Is you as well? Okay. We have a number back there. So I will get your email addresses, and we will add you to the listserv so that you can get the updated information as well. So please don't leave until I get your email address. Any questions on this part? Okay. Okay. As we mentioned, the big dollars come from NIH for us. But there are also big dollars out there for DOD, National Science Foundation, but this is where the bulk of our extramural funding comes from. NIH has 27 institutes and centers, and pretty much all of them have funding. They don't have the same across the board, but they do have the same, when I say funding mechanisms, they may not all have the same. But this is another good tool to use, is the NIH Reporter, and it will give you information on what has been funded in the past, a description of the researchers, because remember, these are public dollars, and so it's in the public domain. It's for transparency as well. So, but if you want to do a search as far as what a specific institute has funded in the past, if you want to look at what is funded in Louisiana or another state, you can do that as well. If you want to possibly partner with another colleague in a different location, you can look, do a search on Matchmaker, and you can get information that way as well. But this is the NIH Reporter. It's also a link on our website under the federal agencies section. But it's a lot of information out here to prospect. Also, if as far as your scientific review, peer review, you might want to see who the different peer reviewers are for the area you're. If you're going to submit to a specific institute, you can find that out here as well on the matchmaker section.
It also helps you identify, Matchmaker will help you identify if you want to suggest a certain study section you want to go to in a cover letter. And you can use that for that as well.
Any questions? Okay. All right. There are different types of NIH grants. They have series, and they call these funding mechanisms. And there are various kinds. Again, each institute may not offer the same ones, but the common ones, if you're an early career researcher, the K-99 ROO, that's the one for early career researchers. R01 is the common funding mechanism for research. R03 are smaller grants, smaller research grants. They're no more than 2 years in length. R21 are the let's see. Those are also they're smaller research grants. R34 research, those are clinical trials. R41, R42, those R44, those have to do with the technology. Let's see, small business or STTR. R56 are the short-term bridging funding mechanisms for short-term. If you have a competitive grant, but they didn't fund you right now, they may give you a bridging award. No more than a year. Then we have the research training grants and fellowship grants. T32, we have one here. Dr. Orr has a T32. And then we have the F31, F32. Those are the pre-doctoral and post-doctoral fellowship.
And we have some of those as well.
And then we have the co-braid and the PPG. Dr. Keble is our co-braid.
We have two.
Two. Dr. Keble and Dr. Urashko, co-braid grants. But those are training. They can be multidisciplinary grants. Those are pretty large grants, the co-braids and the PPGs. Anybody have any questions on that types of grants?
Just provide a little bit more clarification between K-99 and R01.
K-99, well, R1 is just basic research grant. It's just a research grant.
No, it's not just, it is just what they call a parent grant. It's the one that people typically apply to, and they can go up to 4 to 5 years. The ROO, you asking about the K-99 to the ROO? The K-99 is for postdoc training. You do a postdoc, you get that, and then you automatically can go into the first level because you are a young investigator, and you can go into the first level of a grant through a ROO. Okay? 9 times out of 10, you transition into ROO when you get a faculty position. Okay?
Here are some key terms that you need to know, especially dealing with the NIH. As you all know, when you're dealing with the federal government especially, they have acronyms for everything. Okay, and so these are some important ones. The grants management officer is the person who's primarily responsible for the non-programmatic administrative business affairs of the grant. And they may have a portfolio of grants for that particular institute. Grants management specialist works for the GMO, and they are probably going to be the first point of contact as it, again, relates to non-programmatic administrative issues related to a grant. The program officer deals with the programmatic, scientific, technical aspects of the grant. So every NIH grant has these roles. Then you have your scientific review officer, SRO, and that is a person who assigns people to peer review your grant. The request for proposal before you can't just apply for a grant. Just say I want to, send a letter. You have to have there has to be a request for proposal, and it will give all the information as it relates to the eligibility, the deadlines, and things that are allowable for the grant, and any kind of programmatic requirements. Once you have been awarded a grant, you will receive there will be an official notice of award saying when the grant starts, who all these people are, the GMO, GMS, PO.
On the notice of award, you have to realize your grant has been awarded to the institution, not to the PI. So that notice of award will come directly to the grants office. We get calls all the time going, I got a grant. We cannot consider it official until the notice comes to the office, and we have to accept that grant, okay? Because it does come to the institution. So that would be delivered to us, and then it would become an institutional official grant. Go ahead.
But again, once we receive the notice of award, that's when we start getting things in order as far as the budget, subawards, if there needs to be any issue. This is our authority to do so, to proceed. Oh, okay. And then we have ER Commons. Does everyone have an ERA Commons ID? Does everyone have one? Y'all know what that is? Okay. So we know that's the NIH portal, how they communicate between on the administrative information that's related to grants. So that's where you submit your grants to assist, your progress reports, your RPPRs, that's the progress report. That's where everything is there in ERA Commons.
And your ERA Commons ID has to be created by the Office for Sponsored Programs, because we link you up with our institution. So you can't go out there and just set one up. You can, but you're not going to be linked to us.
So just say if you came from another institution and you had an ERA Commons ID, we would be the ones to associate you with our institution. BioSketch. This is critical. The NIH has changed some rules here lately, and they're requiring that you complete a BioSketch for any competing applications, progress reports, just-in-time procedures. They're requiring a BioSketch. Okay, so this is the format that they want. They want it to look just like this.
And it's a new format.
New format. And they will not accept your application if you don't have it. Any questions on BioSketch? And another critical piece of information that is required is other support. Other support is required for just-in-time and progress reports, and if requested by the program officer for some applications. But what they're looking for is they want to ensure there's no scientific, budgetary, or commitment overlap. They are checking. They are checking. So they're looking at any resources that you receive, whether foreign or domestic, from any foreign domestic entities. They're also looking for that as well. They're looking for foreign influence as relates to funding. They're looking at any consulting agreements that you have, and also they're looking at in-kind contributions. So no matter the source, if you receive any support, you have to report it to the NIH. Yes.
I was gonna let you talk about it first before I asked. On the in-kind contributions, like, I was a little confused on that part. Like, say you have like some of the summer programs we have, like I had a smart student and a curious student, and I listed them as my in-kind, but I didn't know, is it that level of detail, that amount of money needs to be put in the other support somewhere? Or?
They want to know any
Okay.
in-kind. So I would say don't leave anything out.
Because those are official programs. The SMART program is the official program.
I saw
Yeah.
an example of the NIH example of other support, and they had the transfer of mice from another institution.
Okay.
Okay, so trust
And they're
me,
really checking.
and they are checking. So it's better to be transparent than for them to come back to they're going to come back to the institution. They're not going to come back to you. They're going to come back to the institution, and then we have to explain why didn't you put it on there.
For an example that has just happened is that we had a multi-PI. You can have more than one PI on a grant. The gentleman in Chicago said he worked on this grant 0.6% effort. The gentleman here said, no, that person did 0.25% effort. They got that detail. So you got, if you're working with colleagues, whether they be sub-awards or you're a sub-awardee or something like that, they're getting down into that level. So it takes a long time for us to try to help you with that. So just, it's brand new. It will be official. You have to have it in January of 2022. It's optional right now, but not unless the agency says, you know, you don't need it. But January 2022, it will be required.
And remember, this is your document. So therefore, you are responsible for compiling the information. You have to sign it, electronic signature only. They will not accept a wet signature.
Or
Copy.
scanned or anything.
They won't accept that. It
DocuSign.
has to be a DocuSign or Adobe type signature. But again, you are responsible for compiling it. Now we will review it to see if it's accurate. But they're looking for your submissions. They're looking for your current support and what has been completed in the last 3 years. Any questions? This is a very critical thing. Yeah.
You mentioned about sharing mice, but what about if someone is giving you antibodies or reagents like that? Are you supposed to list that?
Giving you what now?
Like some sort of reagents like an antibody or anti-sera, are you supposed to list those things?
Is that an in-kind?
Yes.
It's in-kind.
Yeah, I guess you just guess at its value or assess its value somehow. Yeah.
We don't make the rules. We're just here.
And
We're
this is
just the
only, this is
messenger.
most, just for PHS funding, public funding.
But also, I know the Department of Defense has other support. NSF, all the federal agencies are requiring other support. The format may be slightly different, but it's basically the same information.
So if you're going to send in a grant application or you're getting ready to do a yearly report, this needs to be done probably before you even write your research plan, because this takes a long time. You have any?
The more specific you are, the better.
Yeah.
Because what that does, I hate to say it, is it helps the institution protect you.
Protect, yeah.
Because that's, and this is, they're both correct. This is just the beginning for NIH. We don't really know where it will end.
So how much time will the office need then to review these?
Well, again, you should compile. It's your work, right? So if you could compile your work and put it in the format. And all you have to do is Google NIH other support, and it'll go right to that page. And also on our webpage, I'll show you. But we can check it. Just think about it. If we had to do everybody's other support who's a researcher, we just don't have the staff to do that.
So one of the things that I'm encouraging the basic science chairs to tell all the faculty is that you should create your own other support page and your NIH BioSketch and their living documents.
Yes.
So that you have them and you update them on a frequent basis, like, once a month or something like that, so that it's current and contemporaneous, because your RPPR may come up and you need to submit that, or you may have a new submission, de novo submission that comes up and you have to submit that. So it's just one additional document amongst many others that you just have to keep up with.
Okay, prior to submission, there are a number of things that have to be done before we can click the button for your grant. First of all, you have to do an extramural routing sheet. Or if you're doing intramurals, it's intramural routing sheet. And some things are going to be changing soon because we're going to be transitioning to electronic resource platform, Cayuse. So hopefully, have some of y'all used Cayuse before? Okay, all right. What's your name?
Rohit Younger.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, but anyway, so we're going to be transitioning to that. But in the meantime, this is what we have to do until everything is up and running. You have to do your conflict of interest disclosure through Shields. You have to do that. Intellectual property disclosures, biosafety certification, ethics training, and if you are dealing with animals, your iCook certification, and if it's with people, IRB, and then if there's any radioactivity approvals. But all this must be done
Or in the process.
prior to us clicking the button. Any questions? These are some of the platforms. Again, this may be changing for us when we go to Cayuse, but for now, nobody accepts a paper application anymore. Okay, everything is electronic. All right, so if you're dealing with NIH, it's going to be Assist, DOD, Workspace, research.gov for NSF, other federal agencies, like we have had grants with Department of Agriculture, Education. Those will be in grants.gov. Louisiana Board of Regents, they have the Louisiana Online Grant Automation Network, electronic handbook for HRSA, and Proposal Central is used by the American Heart Association and the American Cancer Society. So as the researcher, you will have to go in and initiate the application. But we are the ones who hit that little green button, submit now. Anybody have any questions? I can't emphasize enough, we're here to be of service, but we have to have deadlines so we can be of service to everyone. So we're just asking that you, when you submit a grant, please submit the complete information to us within 7 business days, with all the supporting documentation, your budget template, your disclosures, make sure they're up to date, and there are different sign-offs on your routing sheet. Your department chair,
Your business manager.
Yeah, your business manager, that's correct. So you have to get those signatures before we can submit. Any questions? And I'm sorry, I have to keep emphasizing this because it is an issue. 7 days, why is that important? 7 days is important because, again, we have to review for compliance. We have to look at your RFP and make sure that you meet all the, you have everything in your grant that's requested. We have to review the budget, make sure you use the correct indirect rates. We're looking for if you have any cost share. We're looking at your effort, which is a part of your other support. We're looking to see if you have your assurances for your ICOOK, your IRB, biosafety. If you're collaborating with another institution and there's a subaward, we have to get all this information from them, especially their budget and the statement of work. We have to make sure we have to verify your disclosures, and then we have to get approval from Anela before we can submit. So, any questions about that?
And we'll help you with all this.
Yes, we will
I
help.
mean, we're here to help.
Right.
Some people in here, it's Greek, and I understand that. Science is Greek to me. So, but we will help y'all and answer any questions y'all have.
Okay. And these are our contacts for our department. Anela, as she mentioned, is our Vice Chancellor for Research Development. Program Manager in Research Development is Nicola Sullivan.
Nicola is working with the COBRAs and helping manage the COBRAs because the reporting is just unbelievable for the COBRAs. But she also is here to help you look for funding. If you want to have any ideas, she help you from the business side. We also have a grant editor that we have a contract with that you can come see me or talk to Nicola and get connected with her to read your research plan. She's done it for a lot of people here already, but she comes through the Office of Sponsored Programs and the Office of Research, Dr. Cabell's office. Technology Transfer Specialist is Julia Knight. She's the one that we work together with Wayne Nix, who is our new Chief Innovation Officer. I guess he's really not new, but he's been here a couple of 3 months, and he is the commercialization side of intellectual property. And Julia is the paperwork on the inside. So if you're putting in a research grant and you think that you know that there's novel ideas and novel information in that grant, you need to let us know. Because of FOIA issues, we can put a statement in your grant that says this is proprietary information and the feds do not have to release it. Okay? So y'all just need to, if you've got anything like that, let us know. Grant coordinator is Bria Smith. We're also hiring another one, and they will help you work through everything, submit your grants. So we have a posting out there right now. So we'll have two, and then of course the director.
And I pinch hit everything. So, any questions? Okay. One last thing before we go to Q&A. Would like to share with you our intranet page. It is still a work in process. We're trying to improve the content so it's more user-friendly and more informative for the research community. So, again, it's a work in process, but it has some good information on there.
You're going to show them how to get to it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All you do when you go to inside, you just type in office. You can just say sponsored programs. And this page will come up, and there's our disclaimer that this is a work in process. Okay, so we have a little researcher toolbox. And again, it's not complete yet, but this is some of the information that's on there that you need. Definitely need the intramural routing sheet.
Extramural and
I'm sorry.
intramural.
Yeah, but these are the forms, some of the forms you need. Letter of intent, if you're going to participate in a subaward on another grant. Institutional information, this has all the information. Let me just click this. Is it coming up? PDF. Oh, there we go. So this is all the information. If you're
DUNS numbers, all those types of who the officials are.
yes. Okay. This is what an extramural work spreadsheet looks like. Let me see if it's going to come But this is what you need to complete when submitting. This is an extramural routing sheet. And all this information needs to be completed. Abstract, your budget, justification. These are all those signatures that you need.
You can continue to work on your research plan after you submit this ERS, because that gets us started, okay? So your abstract is fine, but if you want to go in and change your research plan and do all that, and even adjust your budget, that's not a problem. We just want to make sure everything gets started and through the process.
Can we change our abstract slightly?
Yeah, of course.
That's our.
All
that's
that matters
the
is
main
when we
thing,
push
is-
that button.
Yeah.
But,
The research plan may not be done till,
well, please don't come in the day it's due. We've done that before.
Okay.
And I hate to tell you that, when that happens, Rebecca does, when that happens, you have to go down to the bottom of the line, because I've got other people to submit, and I'm telling you now, our internet has gone down more than once. I've been here a long time, but I've had to go home as the authorizing official and submit grants. So just be careful. Don't leave it to the last minute. If it is, it's 5 p.m. our time is the deadline, on the deadline date for the feds. Now, DOD sometimes is midnight, okay? But we would prefer not to be here till midnight to submit it.
I'm way too scared to do that. I do.
But there are some people, I think that
Yeah.
you should be writing these grants 30 to 60 to 90 days out before it's due.
Ahead of time before submission?
Getting it started.
Well, they are written, yeah.
Well,
That's what I'm saying.
Cramming data into
But
Well,
anyway, so
Like for the NIH, we already know the due dates.
most of them, some of them
Most
are
of-
different.
Yeah, but these are the standard due dates for NIH by series. But that's in the
And that's on the NIH website.
right, but it's also in the toolbox.
Okay.
We have also American Heart standard dates for next year. So let's see. We did a little checklist for NIH. Our grants is so much that's needed, so hopefully this can be of use to you. It's just a checklist to make sure you have everything you
The
need.
pieces.
Yeah, before you submit. Let's see here. Wait a minute, we got something else here. I'm going back to the homepage. Hold on. Okay. So, and for looking for funding, all these buttons don't work yet, but like for funding, this will take you to that page I showed you before. With grants forward
But there's an intramural.
and
Thanks, Tim.
intramural is here. Okay. And see what else is of interest on this page. That may, again, we're still working on these other buttons. But, resources. Like this is tell you about some of the agreements, like the material transfer. This gives you some general information about the different types of agreements. And
And
last,
those have to be signed by an authorizing official. MTAs, CDAs, you can't sign it. We have faculty members that try to do that, but from an institutional standpoint, that's an audit finding, and we just have to make sure that we cover all the regs that LSU requires, and the state, because we're a public university.
okay, as far as some forms, some other forms, resources. Let's see here. We have some other forms, like even this grants that we're linking to other parts. As far as training, there were some good training presentations from the NIH virtual seminar presentation, and they had a plethora. Look at all that they had on different topics. So we compiled that there for you. And
Okay,
let's
we need
see. Okay.
10 minutes.
Okay, and forms and templates. Here's some more forms and templates here. Okay, so that concludes our presentation.
Anybody have any questions or want to ask any questions? Or yeah.
Can I ask about what's the institute policy about transfer grants? Someone gonna move for coming with the grant
Someone that is coming, a new faculty member or a postdoc? Okay.
or leaving?
Or what? Or leaving? So if you're getting, if you have a new faculty member coming, we have to arrange, let's say they're funded. Let's say they have an R01. They're coming from the University of South Carolina, have an R01. We have to work with their grants office to transfer that grant. That grants office from the University of South Carolina has to initiate all that. We can't. We had a situation where the PI thought he had more money to transfer than the University of South Carolina approved. Okay? So that's very key. You have to realize that they are going to retain money to cover all of those expenses that you left. It's the same here. If you move somewhere else to go to another university, then we will do that. We will initiate, we'll cover our costs through grants accounting, then we'll initiate that transfer. And that goes straight through NIH or DOD. We've done DOD and NSFs. Okay? Uh-huh.
Are these, workshops that you are giving the lectures available online also?
They are.
Won't they be, Maggie?
Yes, so they'll be available on this page, the inside page. Both their presentation and the recording of this will be available.
Thank you.
Yes.
I have one more question.
It's hard to hear with the air.
Oh, yeah.
One more question. I'm from the Department of Anesthesia, and
Uh-huh.
our anesthesia societies, multiple societies, they actually have grants. So they have like anywhere starting from $10,000 to $350,000 grants. But when we have ideas, I don't know what to do. How to write a grant or where to start. Even though I have ideas, and they already have funds from different society, like Anesthesia Safety Foundation provides a grant of $350,000. But how do I get started, or who do I ask for help if I have ideas, but I don't know how to make use of that fund, because they have deadlines every January 31st where we can actually apply for grant, but I have ideas, I don't know what to do after.
Well, first of all, you can come and visit with us about your ideas, okay? There are also, the Anesthesia Foundation is going to have instructions that tell you exactly what you have to submit. Several of those NIH virtual seminars will apply to any grant that you want to write. There's a list of what you have to put in your research plan, the background, your aims, what you're trying to accomplish, and we can walk you through that. Yeah. And you got to come with the idea, but we can show you how to set it up. And then, like I said, we've got a grant editor that can help you, and she's done it a lot. Because it's got to read like a layman plan. It can't read like a scientific plan. So, because a lot of people on these peer reviews are not all scientists. They're people like me. So they've got to understand what you're trying to do. But we can help you.
And also this workshop is being made for people to write their grants.
That's right. Mm-hmm. So just continue to come to these.
Did you have your email
Okay.
address?
Yeah, and I received it.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
I received it.
Good.
Ooh, that's a lot of money. That's societies for that kind of money is a lot.
Do I have your email address?
Really is.
Okay. I don't want to forget anybody's email address who didn't get our,
Yeah.
So do I need to go through security to obtain access to this website?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see if you can, because it is intranet for LSU employees. And you would have to submit through Oshner. Unless you're partnering with the PI here, and then that PI can, because unfortunately, we're not the same entity. Okay? But if you're partnering with an LSU employee, we can do that. No, you don't have anything?
okay, did
It's
I
hard to
miss
see
it?
people when they have questions when you can't. Okay, anything else?
Did I get everybody's email address that didn't? Okay.
Thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. I hope it was helpful for you. You're welcome.